My Lords, I rise, and it's a pleasure to follow the noble Lord Volks and to find myself in a number of areas of this bill in broad general agreement, if not always in the details, as in on our views of the Scottish Government, which of course has Green ministers among its members. My amendment is really rather similar, perhaps not quite so expansive in terms of devolved administrations, in that it says that a director must be appointed. One of the directors I put down is jointly from the governments of Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. The other two specifications of directors are the Climate Change Committee, and I'm a little disappointed that Lord Deben isn't in his place, but I think I'd be interested in his view on that. And also, and I think there's some very deep irony of this, and I do point out that I put this amendment down 10 days or so ago, also a joint representative of Natural England, Natural Scotland and Natural Resources Wales. Now, this is in a sense another way of getting at the issue that I was trying to get at earlier, as in the Treasury are not people who really have the expertise. And I think very often bankers are not people who have the expertise on environmental issues, on social issues, and indeed the issue of devolution. And this is an attempt to ensure that, that the directors really have those expertise. But I think events have come to force me to reflect at this point on the fact that a lot of our earlier discussions were about the operational independence of the bank. And it is rather telling that Natural England was, of course, an independent body. It, over the last decade, has gradually lost its independence under the hold of DEFRA. It was deprived of its independent online presence in 2012 and its own press office. And in 2018, its former chair, Andrew Sells, confirmed that the body is no longer independent. Indeed, it has just emerged in the last week that this was buried deep in a consultative proposal that campaigners have only just uncovered, that the government is consulting on dismantling Natural England. And that's something that's caused a great deal of concern. But I think it's a real demonstration of so many points that have been made by noble lords about how governments can have structures that are supposed to be holding to them account and somehow, through a process over a decade or so, effectively dissolve those structures. So this is an attempt to deal with the issues that noble Lord Volks has already covered well. And I will just also point to the second reading speech from the noble Lord Wigley. I won't go through it in detail, but I think what he said there was the bank needs to work with the grain of devolved governments, regional governments and local governments. And in fact, looking at this now and thinking about this, I wonder if I shouldn't have also put a representative of local government on there. But that's something to think about for a report.